Hello and welcome to Siyasat TV. I'm Sumayya Junaid Ahmed bringing you the news. Here are the headlines.
COVID vaccine to be focused at the historic Quad Summit with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, United States President Joe Biden and other leaders. West Bengal Assembly Elections 2021, BJP Subhendru Adhikari files nomination from Nandigram. DMK releases list of candidates for Tamil Nadu polls, MK Stalin's sons make debut. Toolkit case, court extends protection from arrest to another activist. Supreme Court dismisses Enforcement Directorate plea to cancel anticipatory bail to TV9 ex-CEO Ravi Prakash. In Hyderabad, Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao launches Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav celebration at public gardens. Myanmar military murdered at least 70 since coup, says United Nations. Turkey, Russia, Qatar pushes for political resolution in Syria.
Let's begin with our top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, US President Joe Biden, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga will today take part in the first meeting of the leaders of the Quad Group nations. While it is not yet known if Prime Minister Modi and Mr. Biden will have an exclusive meeting, this will be their first meeting since the latter took over the US President.
The virtual summit, seen as part of efforts to balance China's growing military and economic power, will focus on coronavirus vaccine initiative to effective deal with pandemic. The meeting also plans to announce financing agreements to support and increase manufacturing capacity of coronavirus vaccines in India. A senior United States administration official told India is the world's biggest vaccine maker.
Moving on to our next story, Bharatiya Janata Party leader Subhendru Adhikari today filed his nomination from Nandigram seat for the upcoming assembly elections in the state.
On 6th of March, the BJP fielded former TMC leader Subhendru Adhikari from Nandigram against West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, setting the stage for high-profile contest from the seat in the state assembly elections. Mr. Adhikari, a former minister in Trinamool Congress government, had adjourned the BJP in December last year. Earlier today, Subhendru Adhikari offered prayers at a temple in Nandigram.
Moving on, the BJP on Thursday attacked the Congress over its leaders Bhupendra Singh Hooda riding a tractor with women legislators of his party pulled with ropes to protest against the rise of fuel prices and asked if women in the political organization be treated as the bonded laborers.
Union Minister and BJP leader Smriti Irani said it was absolutely shocking to see the former Haryana Chief Minister sitting calmly on tractor while having women members of his party pulling it physically. It is shocking no male member of the Congress even intervened to stop that. Taking a swipe at Congress President Sonia Gandhi, Ms. Irani, who is Women and Child Development Minister, said her silence also speaks volumes about how the women in her party are reduced to tasks that even men refuse to do.
DMK President MK Stalin will try his luck once again from Kolathur constituency in the city for 6th of April Tamil Nadu Assembly elections, while his son Udhayanidhi will make his electoral debut contesting from Chipuk Triclane segment in the metropolis.
MK Stalin released the list of all 173 candidates for the elections, retaining most sitting MLAs including senior Durari Murugan, K.N. Nehru, K. Pondami and M.R.K. Paneerselvam, all former ministers beside others. Addressing a press conference at the DMK headquarters, MK Stalin said he will file the nomination, which started today in the poll-bound state, on March 15th and embark on the next leg of the campaign.
Kamal Haasan, veteran Tamil movie actor and founder of fledgling Kamal Nidhi Mayam, will be contesting in the upcoming state assembly polls from the Coimbatore South constituency. He made the announcement today while releasing his party's second list of candidates.
Kamal Haasan had earlier chosen to fight from Alandur in Chennai, a seat that former Chief Minister M.G. Ramchandran held for 9 years. The past two assembly polls saw seat being won by the ruling AIADMK, with the Amman K. Arjun being current incumbent.
A Delhi court today extended by 3 days the interim protection from arrest to climate activist Shubham Kar Chaudhary, a co-accused along with Disha Ravi and others in connection with allegedly being involved in sharing a toolkit on social media related to the farmers' protest.
Additional Session Judge Dharmendra Rana granted the relief after police sought an adjournment in the proceeding related to the anticipatory bail moved by Shubham Kar Chaudhary in the matter. He was recently granted transit bail by the Goa bench of Bombay High Court. During the brief hearing today, the police urged the court to adjourn the matter till 15th of March, when the anticipatory bail applications filed by co-accused Disha Ravi and Shantanu Muluk are scheduled for hearing.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav today celebrates 75 years of India's independence. Prime Minister Narendra Modi flagged off a 241-mile march from the famous Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad to Dandi in Gujarat, Nasavi district. Dandi March is also known as Salt March or Salt Satyagrah, was non-violence and civil disobedience movement led by Mahatma Gandhi on 12th of March 1930 against the salt monopoly of the British colonial rulers.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi took to Twitter and wrote, 12th of March is a special day in India's glorious history. On that day, in 1930, the iconic Dandi March led by Mahatma Gandhi began. From Sabarmati Ashram, we will commence Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to mark 75 years since independence. The Prime Minister has encouraged people to participate in the Padyatra today.
The Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare informed today as many as 23,285 new COVID-19 cases and 117 deaths reported from India in the last 24 hours. With this, the total number of positive coronavirus cases reported in the country now stands at 1,13,08,846. A total of 1,09,53,303 patients have recovered so far, including 15,157 recoveries in the last 24 hours. Telangana recorded 181 new COVID-19 cases and 1 fatality. With the second phase of the nationwide vaccination drive underway, as many as 2,61,64,920 doses of the vaccine have been administered so far. Let's shift our focus to Telangana, where the Supreme Court today dismissed the petition filed by the Enforcement Directorate to cancel anticipatory bail to TV9 former CEO Ravi Prakash. The court asked ED Ravi Prakash violated the conditions of bail.
The High Court granted the anticipatory bail after considering all things. The Supreme Court said cancelling the petition filed by Enforcement Directorate. Ravi Prakash and 2 others were arrested after complaint was filed by new management of TV9 for siphoning off rupees 18.31 crore from Associated Broadcasting Company Limited, which promotes TV9 from September 2018 to May 2019. Ravi Prakash, who owns a minor stake in the company, was sacked from the post.
Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao today launched Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebration at Public Gardens. He hoisted the national flag and said that Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is a milestone in the history of Indian independence and in the history of the world.
Assembly Speaker Pocham Srinivas Reddy, Chief Secretary Sumesh Kumar, DGP Mahendra Reddy and others were present. On the other hand, Governor Tamilisai Soundarajan took part in the celebrations at Police Parade Ground in Hanamkunda. The Telangana government made grand plans to celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav for 75 years of Indian independence, and the Chief Minister sanctioned rupees 25 crore for the purpose.
2 months after marriage, a couple was killed in a road accident after the bike they were travelling on rammed into electric pole. The incident took place on Thursday night when they were returning home from a temple. According to the police, the two who belonged from Rangareddy district and got married on January 9th.
On the occasion of Mahashivratri, the couple went to nearby temple and later visited their relatives in Yadgiri district. The police said that speeding bike rammed into electric pole while they were returning home. The couple, who suffered serious head injuries, were dead on spot. Sub-Inspector Suresh registered a case and launched an investigation. The bodies were sent to Ibrahimapatnam Government Hospital.
Moving on to our international news, the United Nations Special Rapporteur for Myanmar slammed the country's military for killing off at least 70 people since the protests erupted against its power grab in February. citing growing evidence of crime against humanity, including murder, persecution, and torture.
Talking about a horrific truth, human rights investigator Thomas Andrew told United Nations Human Rights Council on Thursday that the country of Myanmar is being controlled by a murderous illegal regime. More than half of those killed were under age 25. Andrew said, adding that more than 2,000 people have been unlawfully detained since the coup and violence is steadily increasing.
Less than 2 weeks after the release of an unclassified US intelligence report on 2018 killing of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, pressure continues to build Washington for President Joe Biden to hold Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to accountable.
The widely anticipated report confirmed that many human rights groups, United Nations experts and United States lawmakers had long argued the Crown Prince approved the operation to capture or kill Khashoggi at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. But the Biden administration has said it would not directly sanction or impose a travel ban on Mohammed bin Salman. Instead, it said it plans to recalibrate but not repudiate Washington's relationship with Riyadh, a long-time strategic ally. That widely criticized decision has prompted legislative efforts by the United States lawmakers who want to hold Mohammed bin Salman, Saudi Arabia's de facto leader, accountable, though whether those attempts will be successful remains to be seen.
Turkish Foreign Minister said Turkey, Russia and Qatar are making a joint attempt to promote a political solution to Syria's 10-year conflict.
All three ministers emphasized in their meeting that the only solution to the conflict, in which hundreds of thousands of people have been killed and millions displaced, was not a military solution but a political settlement in the line with the United Nations resolution. In a joint statement after the talks, the minister also reaffirmed their commitment to preserve the sovereignty, independence, unity and territorial integrity of Syria. Turkey and Qatar have backed figures who sought to topple Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, while Moscow provided military support which helped al-Assad seize back most of the country.
Before we wrap up our bulletin, let's have a look on our headlines.
COVID vaccine to be focused at the historic Quad Summit with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, United States President Joe Biden and other leaders. West Bengal Assembly Elections 2021, BJP Subhendu Adhikari files nomination from Nandigram. DMK releases list of candidates for Tamil Nadu polls, MK Stalin's sons make debut. Toolkit case, court extends protection from arrest to another activist. Supreme Court dismisses Enforcement Directorate plea to cancel anticipatory bail to TV9 ex-CEO Ravi Prakash. In Hyderabad, Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao launches Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav celebration at public gardens. Myanmar military murdered at least 70 since coup, says United Nations. Turkey, Russia, Qatar pushes for political resolution in Syria.
These were all the updates. More news on the other side. Thank you for your time. For more news, stay tuned to Siyasat TV.